Welcome to the Sales Eye Open House session. So today we're going to be having looking at how you can customize a snapshot report. So I'm going to show you as well how you can find a snapshot report in different ways. So a snapshot report itself is a customer facing document. So there is things that you can show your customers and give them in the safe knowledge that they won't see anything they shouldn't see. So it removes any profit, any cost, anything like that. So it gives you two measurement types, sales quantity and sales value. You can then start to customize it to make it look like your report. Now, as always, I'm in our demo system. So it's based on a builder's merchant. So functionally, everything I'm going to do will be the same for yourself. However, the data will be different. So the first thing that I want to do is find my customer, and I want to search for a customer to view. So I've got a customer in mind, and there's many ways I can get to the customer dashboard. That's where I need to end up. I can do it through an inquiry, through an account search I'm going to do. You can go to it through a campaign, lots of different ways. You can also access them from the mobile device as well. However, talking about mobile devices, you will need to use the desktop version to be able to save and configure the report, and then however that template is being configured will be downloadable on the mobile device. So I'm going to search for my customer, and there's the customer I want to use, and it'll come up with a list, just like the account search. There's videos and the support site information how to do different types of account searches, so you can find specific information. Now the one I want is his top account, and now I've selected it, I can get to the customer dashboard, the speedometer looking icon. Click onto the dashboard, will take us through to the individual view, whether it's a parent account, whether it's an individual customer. You'll be able to have a look at lots of different things. For example, the sales comparison, targets, campaigns, all things we've covered previously. But we want to concentrate on the snapshot. And you can find that just in the tabs below the blue bar. So I've got the snapshot. And this is where we can configure and update our snapshot report. Now, just to show you what it is, without doing any customization, I've changed it. The only little thing I did was just changed it to a date range of my choosing. So I've changed mine to January to April of this year. So that's a review period I want to look at. Now, typically that date range will default to your year to date to start off with. If not, you can change it when you save this template. To run the snapshot report, to complete it, you use Generate Snapshot. It's a green button. You've got one at the top of the page, or one if you're slightly further down. We've highlighted them in green just to make it a bit easier to view. When you do generate, it asks you what format you'd like this in. You can choose a PDF, a PowerPoint, or a Word document. Now I've done all mine in PDF just as an example for you, but it really is down to you what choosing you want. You can then click Export. To export, you get a little window, and it says, report may take some time to generate. The larger the time frame, the bigger the data, the more the customer has spent, the longer it takes to run. Typically, these take about a minute or so, depending on the internet connections, to generate. Now, as it says, you can email yourself when ready, or it will just pop up. If you leave it to pop up, please do check your pop-up blockers are not going to be blocking the site. Typically, if that happens, it gives you a little error message, a little red cross in your address bar will come up saying pop-ups blocked or something similar. There's information on our support site of how to make sure that doesn't happen. Now I'm going to use the email me when ready, and that's going to come through into my email address when it's finished, so I can carry on using the system. But what I've done in true Blue Peter style is I've made one earlier, just to save a bit of time. And so I have my snapshot report, and it shows me lots of information. And this is the full report, and it's 16 pages in its entirety. So it's quite a large document. Every single page will have the logo of your company in the top left-hand corner, and your address details. It then shows who the account is we're looking at, the review period we've chosen, and the date we've ran the report. So today's date and my January to April. And then, importantly, who's given them this report, who sent it to them. So it's got my details in there. I am missing a telephone number. So that's one thing I'll add in shortly. And as we scroll down, I get a quick summary. It's probably worthwhile pointing out, this document doesn't say sales anywhere. This document, once downloaded, once emailed, is yours. It has your logo, your names, your company information on there. So in its entirety, 16 pages. You get various reports. For example, top product group by purchase value. So this customer and the areas they've purchased in and the amount they've spent. And I get the same report, but looking at the quantity instead of the pound value. So I see the difference in the two. So this customer spends a large chunk on building. And then we've got the top products by purchase value and the quantity again. So a lot of times there's a quantity within these for each report. There's many different reports pulled through. So we've got one, the products they purchase quite frequently. And then we have a product group purchase analysis. This is showing as a bar chart how this customer has spent their money as a percentage. So, for example, 2% has been on gardening, whereas 21% has been on plumbing and tiles in the table. The average customer spend is that line graph, telling you how a typical customer will spend. So on average, actually, my customers spend 7% of their total spend in gardening. So this customer is quite a little bit below, however, they're higher in other areas. And then I get a sales comparison, how the customer has done this year versus last year in date range. So I'm down in January, but I'm up February, March, and April in terms of what the customer has spent. And again, by quantity. Whereas actually, in March, I was also down in quantity, but looking at the value report, I was up. So they spent more with me, but bought less things. And I've got 10 latest purchases. And again, by quantity. And as we go down further, we can see I've got a purchase versus gaps, the sales versus gaps report. So a monthly view of product group level 1. And you can probably guess what was coming next. It's the same report by quantity. We've then got the variance. So what we spent in this date range at product group level 1 versus the previous date range. And then by quantity. So you've got quite a large report available for you. So you've got lots of information quickly and easily. And that's really the key. Things that you can find very fast to aid you in your sales, in your talking with customers, whether it's a visit face-to-face, you're handing out information, or just for yourself for preparation. So I want to do some customization now. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. It's downloaded over the new window. So I found my review. Now, the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to add my telephone number in there. I want to make sure that the customer's got an easy way to call me if they need to. So it could be my mobile number. That's just our office number. And now I want to customize my report a little bit. I want to get rid of the quantity. For my purpose, the pound value is much better than the quantity for how I want to look at a report. And everyone will have different views on what's going to be best for them. So to remove these, I can simply just untick everything to do with quantity. So I can change the quantity by unticking. So I'm taking this report down by about 50% already of the pages just by getting rid of quantity. So I can tick and untick the pages that I don't want to have. And also with each page, you've got the ability to move them. So I want variants at the top of my report. So I'm going to click onto variants, drag and drop it using the arrows, and put it right at the top of my report. So I've now moved this to the top of my report. And again, there might be something else I want to do. Each one next to this list has edit. So I want to turn and go, well, actually, I'd like to look at this in a slightly different way. I want to change the name. So you can use the edit button, and I'm going to call this variance by purchase value. Don't do the word inquiry in there. It's just variance by purchase value. You can change the name and update it. You've also got the ability to change the amount of results you'd like in there, as well as what product group it's looking at. So you might change it to a different level, for example. By default, it compares the same date range of the previous year. Alternatively, you might do the previous quarter or a 6 month for the 6 months directly before. You can change and you can build that into the template. So I've added a couple of other things in there now. My telephone number, I've rearranged a field in there, and I've also taken out some pages. So I've done some basic customization. So now when I generate, and I can do the same thing, pick PDF and export that, wait for it to download or email it to myself, that's going to give me my new report. So here we can see I've got my telephone number included now, and if we scroll down, I've got my variance as the first page, whereas before that was top product groups that have been purchased. So I've gone straight into variance, and then my top product groups by value. Before we had quantity, it's taken it out. So it doesn't say those pages are missing, it just makes this report smaller. So I've now got 9 pages in total, instead of the 15, 16 I had before. So I've got the ability, and everything's still there in the order as I had it. So I can take a step further. I've started to get the report with the information, the inquiry data that I wish. I can start to do some other things with it as well. So I've got my details in there, I've got my reports, but it still doesn't look quite right. And that could be the colours. So I work sales, our brand colours are the red, the black and the white. So we've got our information to go through. Now yours may not be, you might use blues and greens and oranges, whatever colours it's going to be for your information. You can change that. And that's where you've got reporting styling. You've got these 3 colour areas here. So you might want to change the different colours to a blue. I'm going to pick a reddy type colour, a purpley colour, and then change the style as well. Change the graphs to the different colours. So you can choose the colours that will match your information. So I can go and edit, I can increase, I can change it, I can make sure it's my own. And again, just the same, hit generate, and away we go. And that is going to give me the same report with different colours, different views of how that can look. So you can make it look as though it is your own report. And this time, I'd also increased the variance to 20 instead of the top 10, and I'd also done it at product group level 2. So very simple things to change, but can have a large effect on how the report views and what you can do with it. So I've taken the pages there and I've started to customize them and start to build up on it, remove the page I don't want, change the colors, added my telephone number in, rearrange using the simple crosses, and even edited a name on a bar chart instead of a pie chart, number of results you can show as you want it to happen. You can also have the ability to add additional pages in. You can pull them through from your transaction analysis, so your blue bubbles within the inquiry section, or things that you've got saved from the account section, so something that you've got in your record card area. So I'm going to pull things through from transaction analysis, and you can see here I've got a transaction analysis field. So I might want to pull back the transaction types, show the difference between invoice and credits for a customer. So you can see the detail, the amount of credits I've had back. And you can, again, adjust the number, if you want it on or off, if you want a table with it. Save that. That's now added it as a transaction type at the bottom of my report. So the next time I go to generate it, I press the generate button. At the very bottom, we'll see I've now got a transaction type. So I can see this customer's only had invoices from me, so there has been no credits against this customer, so the value and the quantity. Now, if you have more than 2 transaction types, people have lots of different areas in there. It'll detail each one you've got. So that's just pulling back the information directly from that blue transaction bubble. So you can pull information from different areas of the system directly into the report as well. Now, power users may want to create a report and pass it to everybody else in the team. So you create one report, especially with things like the brand guidelines, make sure the information is correct. For a power user, they'd have the ability to build a report and then at the very bottom, copy it to other people. So using that copy button, it gives you the list of everyone else in the business. You can tick the boxes of people you want to copy it to and then copy to users, and everyone will have the same starting template. I could build up on mine and save it. I could change it if I need to. I might change things on a per customer basis. This customer likes looking at the quantity, so I could untick it and change what I need to do. Whenever you want to save your changes, that's where the save and generate comes in. So I want to finish my report exactly as it is now, and I want to use that one for the future. I'd use the save and generate. The next time I run it, moving forward, I just click the generate. If I do any small tweaks and just use the green generate, it won't save them for me for future use. So there's different things you can do. Now, what I would recommend is just exporting it as a full report and then seeing what you can take out. There might be things that work better for others, depending on who you speak to. Reps on the road will have a different opinion to somebody working in the office, for example. So you can really start to customize it for your needs. Now, this report has been done against a single customer or parent account. You can do a snapshot report on something else as well, on other areas of the system. And that's actually outside of the customer dashboard. And to do that, you'll need to go to the control panel. So within the control panel, on the left-hand side, you'll have reporting. Now, I'm logged in as a power user and admin, so I can see lots of information. Everyone else will have profile and reporting. If you click onto reporting, it's where we get the CRM reporting. We've done videos and information on that previously. However, I want to use the general tab just above that. The general tab will show a snapshot by analysis field. So if I use that, I can then launch the same information. Now, this works exactly the same way. So I can select my date range. I can make my changes to what I want to show. However, because there's no what customer this is against, you have 3 boxes at the top, which lets you do it against something else. So you've got customer analysis, so your additional green bubbles from the customer section, the inquiries. Product analysis, the additional red button from the product analysis, or transaction analysis, your blue bubbles. So I'm going to use customer analysis. I might want to do a branch, or I could do an individual sales rep. Now, you can only select one thing in here. So if I select Chris Samuel by moving him from left to right, double clicking or using the add button, and then saving. When I generate this snapshot, exactly the same way, my report is now done against a rep of my business. So it's not a customer, it's how this rep has done. And so the biggest product groups this rep has sold into and quantity. So I can customize just as we did before. So I could look at how this rep is spending against the market average, how this rep's done year on year. All the way down, and the bottom part will show me Unless I've changed it, the top 10 customers of that rep. Now you might want 50, you might want 100, so you can have a breakdown of how each rep is doing. So it's a nice report back to do on individual reps, on branches, on different areas that you've categorized in the business. So it might be a particular buying group or type of business. That's why we want to have a look at how all my plumbers are buying as opposed to electricians or vice versa. And that's going to depend on the data you've got. So just to recap, there's many different things you can do to bespoke and make the report yours. It's very simple. To remove pages, you have a simple tick box. You can drag and drop to rearrange them using the cross. You've then also got the ability to edit, change the name, do any updates that you see fit, change the levels, the date ranges. You can then save it. Not forgetting to make sure your telephone number is in there and make sure your brand colors are correct. You then have a very quick and powerful report to be able to show customers to help prep or to use internally. If you've got any questions, please feel free to give us a call, or you can email us at webinars@sales-i.com. We can answer any questions. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day.